Hello, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to talk about timelines. Do you ever feel like time is passing too quickly, so much so that you feel like your life is changing in the blink of an eye? Or perhaps you feel like time stands still at certain times, leaving you feeling frustrated? Don't worry, you're not alone, as this is one of the issues many people face. The problem lies in the fact that our perception of time is changing. From 2020 to 2021, 50% of people said time was passing faster, while the other 50% said it was passing slower. But almost everyone agrees that the passage of time is changing. This is because we are in a shift of energy frequencies, causing time to flow differently. Sometimes a day feels like an hour, and sometimes it feels like a month. Today we introduce you to Elizabeth April. She is a writer, a truth seeker, and a remote viewer. Elizabeth explains how she communicates and interacts with the Galactic Federation in another dimension. It all started with her father giving her past life regressions, leading to her heightened awareness, possessing remote viewing abilities, and even being abducted by aliens. Elizabeth could see ghosts and spirits, feel energies and auras, and even perceive others' thoughts and emotions since she was a child. She had a profound understanding of how vibrational frequencies affected herself and others. However, accepting these abilities was not easy due to her Catholic upbringing. Schoolmates also didn't help. They ridiculed her when she told them about talking to unseen things. She was told she was lying for attention, a sentiment she still hears today. Being a young person with these misunderstood abilities was challenging. She was too sensitive to others' energies and couldn't handle crowded environments like restaurants. Coupled with her Catholic background and feeling out of place in the world, she fell into deep depression and anxiety. So, at the age of 10, she shut off her abilities and focused on sports to gain acceptance. At 16, she began questioning everything in her physical reality, feeling extremely depressed and seeking help. Despite consulting counselors, psychiatrists, teachers, and parents, she couldn't find answers. She underwent her first past life regression, discovering she had lived many different lives, some of which were difficult. The emotional storm afterward helped her realize she was much more than she thought. At 18, she was consciously abducted by aliens, an event she hadn't considered before. This experience led her to accept herself as one of these interdimensional beings, reawakening her DNA and extreme psychic abilities. She started astral traveling, lucid dreaming, telepathy, and communicating with interdimensional beings. Elizabeth feels that when people fully immerse themselves in the flow of energy, the passage of time becomes different. Some days fly by, while others seem to drag on. Therefore, she believes people are beginning to experience the quantum properties of this new frequency reality. But on such a subtle level, people must be aware of the nuances to uncover its mysteries. So, she decided to plant a seed, believing it would shock people's minds. She believes that at some point, based on the double-slit experiment and wave-particle duality, people will reach a place where they can do multiple things simultaneously. Though it requires practice, she ultimately thinks children will be born with this ability. She recalls a miracle when her friend told her they experienced the same conversation across different timelines one night. This further supported her theory. One day, her friend called her and said, "Hey, you know, something strange happened. Last night, my husband and I had this incredible conversation for the first time, and we talked for 4 hours. I meditated a lot that day, so my vibration was higher, as if it was our first time entering the fifth dimension together. We discussed everything, it was amazing. Then we went to bed that night, and the next morning we both woke up. We went to the grocery store together, and on the way, I turned to him and said, 'Hey, we had a great conversation last night.' He looked at me and said, 'What do you mean?' I watched the football game. I said, 'No, we talked until 1 o'clock in the morning.' He said, 'I went to bed to watch the football game at 10 o'clock, while you were reading your stuff.'" Elizabeth believes that night, they aligned with the same vibration, even though the woman usually vibrated at a higher level and the man at a lower level. The woman always lowered her vibration to match her husband's, whatever it was or looked like. That night, the husband could enter her higher vibration, the fifth-dimensional frequency in another timeline. So, through quantum physics and Schrödinger's cat and all those cool experiments, technically, they both existed at the same time, watching TV and laughing in different rooms on a 3D timeline. They had a 4-hour conversation, existing simultaneously. Then, when they went to bed and woke up that night, they woke up in their timeline. The friend woke up in the fifth-dimensional frequency, the husband in the third dimension. Thus, in the friend's reality, in her memory, in her past, that conversation definitely happened. Because she remembers that timeline. However, in the husband's reality, in the third-dimensional reality, another 3D timeline occurred. So now, most regions of the world are in chaotic frequencies, basically fear-based frequencies. In fear-based frequencies, they're triggered into fight or flight or survival mode, which means they're not consciously creating their reality. You don't have to cut off everyone trying to create their own reality, so the environment for manifesting is very clear right now. Everyone is in a chaotic frequency, which means once you have a clear and conscious intent, it will happen, and it will happen quickly. What used to take years to manifest now only takes weeks, or even days, or even moments. So Elizabeth now advises everyone to manifest every moment of their day very consciously. This doesn't mean sitting down and doing the whole manifestation ritual and vision board. You don't need to do all of that anymore because time is fast. So, all you have to do is wake up in the morning and have a daily routine. What do I want from this day today? What do I want to feel at the end of my day? So this intention will align the right timeline with that intention. If you're not consciously doing anything, anything will happen because you didn't set the intention of what you want to manifest and create, so that day happened. Now I want to mention one thing about manifestation, which is very important. Just like communicating with your spirit guide, don't expect or attach to what you want to manifest. So release intention instead of expecting or attaching, because it lowers the vibration, essentially not allowing those things to happen, and be very aware of how manifestation enters your reality. Write it down. Elizabeth has the best example. Many years ago she was manifesting something new every week. So one week she said, I'm going to manifest a free coffee for myself. A cup of coffee at Tim Hortons in Canada is $1.13. Then she went to the coffee shop, and a super friendly old man in front of her started chatting. She thought, this is it, this is the free coffee I want, I've manifested what I want. As the queue and conversation progressed, the old man went to order his coffee. She thought, well, it's okay, I'll just buy myself a coffee. So she bought the coffee, left the coffee shop, and strangely, there was a small pile of change on the ground. Usually, she wouldn't even notice it, let alone pick it up, but this time, she intuitively felt she should bend down and pick up the change. As she picked up the pennies and nickels and dimes, she counted them, and it was exactly $1.13, the exact price of the coffee. And in her mind, she expected the manifestation to happen in a certain way, but it happened in a completely different way. Of course, she still got a free coffee, but not necessarily in the expected way. So set the intention, manifest what you want, but let go of attachment, let go of expectation, let go of time and manner and place, just trust.